The Islanders head to the Rock tonight to try and get themselves a dub over the Devils. So let's talk with the New York Post Islanders beat writer Ethan Sears to get you guys updated with the news and all that cool stuff on tonight's game. Of course, we got to get Ethan's take on tonight's game as well. Ethan, thanks for hopping on with us. Let's start with the updates. Head coach Lane Lambert spoke on Monday. What were your biggest takeaways from his media availability? And are there any updates and news on some injured guys getting back healthy and possibly getting back on the ice tonight?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks so much for having me, Brandon. Lots of sort of injury stuff to go through, so I'll take a deep breath here. But Adam Pelech is on long-term injured reserve until at least December 19th, so that's going to be a sort of longer-term thing that the Islanders have to deal with. Sebastian is on injured reserve until December 2nd at least, so he'll be out tonight. Cal Clutterbuck and Simon Holmstrom both missed practice yesterday with an illness. They're considered day-to-day, so we'll see kind of when we get to the rink whether they're in or not. And then it does sound like Matt Martin will be back healthy. He was a full practice participant yesterday and activated off IR this morning, so he should be available for tonight. And overall, as for Lane yesterday, I think he was certainly happy to have Mike Riley in the fold. That's a pretty reasonably solid replacement for them on the back end. He can fill in. He's a veteran, and he can, at least be a dependable guy back there as they wait for some people to get healthy.
Well, let's talk about them claiming Mike Riley for some defensive depth. This team has struggled to score throughout the year. Obviously, they lean on the great play of their goaltenders. So what do you think about the Islanders adding another defender and not a scorer?
Yeah, well, given the injuries that they have, I don't know if they really had a choice but to go and add a defender. Losing Pelech for as long as they are, that's not something that they could probably really sustain without adding someone. And they probably got a little lucky that someone like Riley actually became available for them on waivers so they could add him at no cost other than his cap hit. The only scorers who were out there for that same sort of just nothing cost, basically, would have been Patrick Kane. He signed with Detroit this morning, so obviously not there anymore. And Zach Parise, who, as far as we know, he's still contemplating whether or not to come back. And if he does, it probably would be with the Islanders. So to my mind, they probably did pretty well to get Riley. And, we'll see what ends up happening with Parise, whether he ends up coming back into the fold here or, deciding to stay out in Minnesota with his family.
All right, let's talk about the now. The 3-4-3-3 in the last 10 games. They have the Devils tonight in Jersey. So break down, how do you think this game is going to go, and how can the Islanders walk out with a much-needed win?
Yeah, well, the last time these teams played, the last two times these teams played, it's been a high-scoring game. Last time at UBS, the Devils didn't score at 5-on-5, but won in overtime. So it's going to be really crucial for the Islanders to stay out of the penalty box here. The Devils have one of the best power plays in the league, and the Islanders have struggled on the penalty kill. When they were, on that 7-game losing streak a couple weeks ago, it was a lot of it was because they were taking bad penalties and not killing them off. Otherwise, these two teams have been pretty evenly matched at the last few times they've played. They've been actually very fun games to watch, and the Islanders haven't been overwhelmed by the speed of the Devils that kind of on paper you would think would be their, the real advantage that New Jersey has. The Islanders have been able to skate with them at 5-on-5. So especially since the Devils have been, struggling a little bit recently, this is a game that I think the Islanders can maybe come out of with 2 points and maybe their first win this year over a team that was in the playoffs last year.
All right, it all goes down at 7 p.m. tonight at the Rock. Good luck beating that George Washington Bridge traffic, my man, and thanks for jumping on with us.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Brandon.